Let's talk about something that millions of us experience, but very few of us actually discuss openly. That recurring middle-of-the-night interruption. I'm talking about waking up, sometimes more than once, with that urgent need to use the bathroom. It's a quiet problem that disrupts the peace of the night for so many people. You might think it's just a normal part of getting older, or that you just drank a little too much water before bed. And while those things can be factors, the real story is often much more specific. This is a shared issue that affects both men and women, but the reasons behind it can be quite different for each. The paths that lead to this nightly problem vary, and that means the solutions need to be different too. In this video, I'm going to explain those differences in detail. And let's be clear, this is about so much more than just a minor inconvenience. Those nightly trips to the bathroom are chipping away at the most important thing you do for your health every single day: getting deep, restorative sleep. When your sleep is fragmented, you wake up feeling tired, foggy, and less energetic for the day ahead. Over time, this can impact your mood, your memory, and your overall health. And for many, especially as we get older, navigating a dark house in the middle of the night increases the risk of falls, which can have serious consequences. If this problem sounds familiar, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people who struggle with the same issue discover this information. Thank you. Now, let's turn to the positive side. There is good news. You don't have to accept this as your new normal. Today, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to walk you through the 3 main reasons why this happens, and more importantly, I'll give you 3 clear, actionable solutions you can start using to reclaim your sleep and your health. So, let's start with the first and most common reason, which doctors call nocturia. This is a broad term that simply means waking up 1 or more times during the night specifically to urinate. Now, the key symptom here is frequency without any other major complaints. You're not feeling pain or a burning sensation. For men, you're not noticing a significantly weaker stream, which is often associated with prostate issues we'll discuss later. It's simply that your bladder seems to fill up and wake you, like a persistent alarm clock you never set. This is different from prostatitis in men or a urinary tract infection in women, because the primary symptom is just the volume and frequency, not pain or discomfort. So what's actually happening inside your body? The explanation is surprisingly simple and has a lot to do with gravity. During the day, as you're standing and walking around, gravity naturally pulls fluid down into your lower body, especially your legs and ankles. Think of your lower legs like sponges that slowly soak up excess fluid throughout the day. You might even notice some slight swelling in your ankles by the evening, and this is completely normal. The moment you lie down in bed to go to sleep, the game changes. Gravity is no longer pulling that fluid down. As your body becomes horizontal, all that accumulated fluid in your legs is free to re-enter your bloodstream. Your circulatory system then sends this extra volume of fluid to your kidneys to be filtered. Your kidneys do their job perfectly, turning that excess fluid into urine, which then flows into your bladder. And what happens when your bladder fills up? It sends a signal to your brain that it's time to wake up and empty it. If you have a habit of eating a large meal or drinking a lot of fluids late in the evening, this problem gets much worse, as you're adding even more liquid for your kidneys to process right at the time your body is trying to rest. So, how do we solve this purely mechanical issue? The solution is just as mechanical and elegant. It's a simple strategy I call the 3-2-1 method, with one extra step at the end. First, 3 hours before you plan to go to sleep, stop eating. No more meals or heavy snacks. Digestion is a complex process that requires water and can stimulate your system, including your kidneys. Giving your body a 3-hour window allows it to finish most of the heavy lifting of digestion before you lie down for the night. Next, 2 hours before bed, stop drinking all liquids. This doesn't mean you should dehydrate yourself during the day. It's crucial to drink plenty of water earlier on. But cutting off liquids 2 hours before sleep gives your kidneys ample time to process what's already in your system and move it to your bladder before you're trying to get deep sleep. Then, 1 hour before bed, do something simple yet incredibly effective. Elevate your legs. You don't need any fancy equipment, just lie down on the couch or your bed and prop your feet up on a few pillows so they are higher than your heart. This uses gravity to your advantage. It helps all that fluid that collected in your legs during the day to move back into your bloodstream an hour before you go to sleep, not after. Your body can then process it, and you can empty your bladder before you even turn out the lights. And finally, the last step right before you get into bed is something called the double void. This is a technique urologists often recommend. Go to the bathroom as you normally would. Then, don't rush off. Stay there for another 30 to 60 seconds, relax, and try to go one more time. You'll often be surprised that a little more comes out. This ensures your bladder is as empty as it can possibly be before you settle in for the night. The 3-2-1 method with the double void is a powerful combination that can solve the problem for a huge number of people. But what if your nightly awakenings come with discomfort? This brings us to our second major cause, a bacterial issue. For men, this often means prostatitis, which is an inflammation of the prostate gland, and for women, it's typically cystitis, better known as a urinary tract infection, or UTI. The symptoms here are very different from simple nocturia. Men with bacterial prostatitis might experience a burning sensation during urination, a feeling of heaviness or pain in the lower abdomen, and frequent urgent needs to go to the bathroom, both day and night. For women with cystitis, the symptoms are often sharp and unmistakable, a sudden, intense urge to urinate, pain or burning, and sometimes the urine can appear cloudy or have a strong odor. Let me share a story about a man I'll call Robert. He was 65, and for months he was waking up 6, even 7 times a night. He was exhausted and miserable. Each trip to the bathroom was accompanied by a nagging, burning feeling. He was embarrassed and felt it was just something he had to live with. He put off going to the doctor, thinking it was just a part of aging he couldn't change. When he finally did see a physician, his problem was diagnosed quickly. It was bacterial prostatitis. He was prescribed a course of antibiotics, and within a week, his symptoms dramatically improved. He went from waking up 7 times a night to sleeping right through until morning. His story shows how a problem that can cause months of suffering can often be solved with a simple, straightforward medical treatment. For women, the story of cystitis is a little different, especially historically. Before modern antibiotics were widely available, women relied on home remedies. One of the most famous was cranberry juice. There's real science behind why this worked. Think of your bladder lining as a smooth dinner plate. When harmful bacteria get in, they're like sticky crumbs trying to cling to the surface of that plate. The active compounds in cranberries, called proanthocyanidins, essentially make that plate slippery. They prevent the bacteria from being able to latch onto the bladder wall, allowing them to be flushed out more easily when you urinate. This works particularly well for women because the female urethra is much shorter than the male urethra, making it easier for bacteria to travel up into the bladder, but also easier for them to be flushed out. Now, I want to be very clear. Today, we have powerful and effective antibiotics that are the primary treatment for UTIs and bacterial prostatitis. My point in telling these stories is to show that these are medical conditions with clear solutions. You do not need to suffer in silence or try to tough it out. If you have symptoms like pain, burning, or a constant feeling of urgency, the answer is simple and fast: see a doctor. Now, I want to be very clear. Today, the main treatment for urinary infections or bacterial prostatitis is antibiotics. They work well and quickly. I tell these stories to show you one thing. These problems have clear solutions. You don't need to stay quiet or keep suffering. If you feel pain, burning, or always need to run to the bathroom, the best and fastest step is simple: go see a doctor. Now, for men, there's a third common reason for these nightly interruptions, and this one is purely mechanical in nature. It's known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, which is just the medical term for an enlarged prostate. The symptoms of BPH are distinct. The most common sign is a weak or slow urinary stream. It might take a few moments for the stream to even start. Another key symptom is the feeling that you haven't completely emptied your bladder even after you've just finished. It feels like there's still something left, which can lead to you needing to go again just a short time later. Let me tell you about another gentleman. I'll call him David. At 70 years old, he thought he was the only one in the world with this problem. He was ashamed to talk about it, even with his family. He'd stand at the toilet for what felt like an eternity, and the weak stream was frustrating and embarrassing. He just assumed he was unlucky. When he finally talked to his doctor, the first thing the doctor told him was a fact that changed his entire perspective. More than half of all men over the age of 60 have BPH. It's a nearly universal part of the male aging process. It wasn't bad luck, it was just biology. The prostate gland is a small gland that sits just below the bladder and surrounds the urethra, which is the tube that carries urine out of the body. As men age, the prostate naturally tends to grow larger. Imagine the urethra is like a garden hose. The growing prostate starts to gently squeeze that hose. This narrowing of the channel is why the stream becomes weaker and why it's harder to fully empty the bladder. The great news is that there are many effective ways to manage BPH. A doctor can prescribe medications that either relax the muscles around the prostate or actually help to shrink the gland itself, opening up that channel again. While medical treatments are often the primary approach, many men find great benefit in adding natural support to their daily routine. Two of the most studied and trusted natural aids are pumpkin seeds and an herbal extract called saw palmetto. Let's start with pumpkin seeds. These aren't just a tasty snack. They are a powerhouse of nutrients for prostate health. So how do they help? First, they contain powerful plant compounds called phytosterols. Think of these as natural regulators that help calm inflammation in the prostate and can interfere with the hormonal changes that cause the prostate to grow. Second, pumpkin seeds are incredibly rich in zinc, a mineral that is vital for prostate health. Healthy prostates have high levels of zinc, and studies show these levels often decrease in men with BPH. So, adding zinc-rich foods back into your diet makes a lot of sense. So, how do you use them? It's simple. Aim for about 1/4 cup, which is a small handful, of raw shelled pumpkin seeds each day. It's best to eat them raw or lightly roasted without salt to get the maximum benefit. You can eat them as a standalone snack, sprinkle them on a salad or oatmeal, or even blend them into a smoothie. The key is consistency, making them a small part of your daily habit. Next is saw palmetto. This is an extract from the berries of a small palm tree, and it's one of the most popular herbal remedies for BPH in the world. Its mechanism is a bit more direct. It works by helping to block an enzyme that converts testosterone into a more potent form called DHT. Think of DHT as a powerful fertilizer for prostate cells, encouraging them to multiply and grow. Saw palmetto helps to turn down the supply of this fertilizer, which can help slow the enlargement of the prostate and ease the urinary symptoms that come with it. Saw palmetto is typically taken as a standardized extract in a capsule or soft gel form. A common effective dosage is around 320 milligrams per day, sometimes taken all at once or split into 2 160 milligram doses. But, and this is very important because it can have hormonal effects and interact with other medications, you should always talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement, including saw palmetto. This ensures it's the right and safe choice for you. The most important message here is that BPH is not a shameful problem. It is a normal, predictable change in the male body. The sooner you start paying attention to it and talking to a doctor, the more options you have to manage it and preserve your quality of life for many, many years to come. So, as we've seen, there are 3 very different roads that can lead to the same destination of interrupted sleep. The first is a simple issue of fluid dynamics, which we can solve with a smart evening routine. The second is a bacterial infection, which modern medicine can resolve quickly and effectively. And the third, for men, is a mechanical issue of an aging prostate, which can be managed with both medical and natural support. This problem touches the lives of both men and women, but as we've discussed, your specific scenario matters. The key is to understand the cause, because each cause has its own unique strategy for a solution. But the final result we are all aiming for is the same: the ability to sleep through the night peacefully. By combining the wisdom of modern medicine with simple, intelligent habits, you can reclaim your energy and your health. Waking up feeling rested and ready for the day is not a luxury. It's essential for a vibrant life. So I'm not asking you to change everything overnight. I'm asking you to take one small step. Think about the 3 causes we discussed. Which one resonated most with you? Which set of symptoms sounded most familiar? Just pick one small action based on that. If it sounds like simple nocturia, try the 3-2-1 method tonight. If you have any pain or discomfort, make a mental note to schedule a visit with your doctor this week. If you're a man experiencing the symptoms of a weak stream, start the conversation about BPH. Which of these paths sounds most like your experience? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video gave you a sense of clarity or hope, just type the word hope. Your comment might encourage someone else who is struggling with the same issue. And of course, if you found this information helpful, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We can continue this health journey together, finding clear answers to the questions that matter most. Take care of yourselves. May your nights be quiet and your mornings be bright. I'll see you in the next video.
Thousands of seniors have found this video helpful, so I highly recommend you watch it. Click to keep going.